Like many other countries, even New Zealand is making changes to its existing visa category, which is called Skilled Migrant Category, SMC. In fact, it's extending its current visa. So, what it means, there were few people who were eligible to apply for this visa category. However, now, due to the new changes which is proposed for August 2026, even people with a low skill can apply for this visa or they will be eligible for this visa. In fact, that visa is categorized for trades and technician pathway, which was not the case. If you look at countries like UK, which is making it more difficult for people to apply for skilled worker visa. However, countries like New Zealand is encouraging and retaining their own people who are contributing to the economy. And of course, it is also for people with more experience. In fact, they can continue working in New Zealand under skilled migrant category. So, if you want to know what are the new changes being announced, who is eligible, who can apply, and for people who are in the UK, can you think of moving to New Zealand? Make sure you stick with me till the end of this video because I've got a special guest and expert, Victor from Victor Immigration, who will come and discuss this topic in detail. Without any further delay, let me introduce you guys to Victor. Hi, Victor. Welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy after a very long time. How are you? And can you also introduce yourself to my audience, please?
Thank you very much, Sarika and Kiora from New Zealand to all our audience. And it's a pleasure to always be here on Your Knowledge Buddy to share my little knowledge, whatever my life experiences are about the policies changes and how these can impact our audience and how they can make their life easy. Thank
Yeah,
you, Sarika.
and your knowledge is not little, it's quite big. Yeah. So, thank you for highlighting to me that there are major changes or announcements in New Zealand, especially around the skilled migrant category. So, today's topic is about what are the announcements which is made in New Zealand regarding the skilled migrant, and if you can throw some light around it so that my audience can understand and they can also make a decision whether it's good news for them or not so good news for them. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sarika. And definitely, yeah, there are some changes. We are in a very rapidly changing migration space right now. And definitely, I would like to share my knowledge today about the recent upcoming changes and how you can plan ahead of time. You can plan from now and gearing towards getting your residency or settlement in New Zealand in the near future. And the topic which we are covering today, I'll share a PowerPoint slide basically. And on those slides, you will be able to notice that what are the upcoming changes and how they can impact your skill migration journey. And if you're already in New Zealand, then what are the pathways? And we're going to discuss today, Sarika, about the audience, those who are sitting abroad, any part of the world, and they have been thinking about moving abroad with their family or individually as a professional, as a skilled migrant, or as a tradesperson. But because of some reason, they are stuck. They're feeling that they are not getting picked up. They've been trying for Canada, not getting the point threshold met and not getting any invites. And even if somebody has been trying for Australia and they are not getting the click, they are not getting the point threshold, they're not able to meet the point threshold. Or as we were discussing, the UK, a lot of students or a lot of professionals, a lot of migrants, those who are in UK and confused about their future, they're not sure what's lying ahead for them. So we're going to discuss about those things today.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to share my screen and then I will start, and in between I'll pause, and whenever you have any questions, because you're dealing with you speak to a lot of audience and
Yes.
you have their feedback, their questions, and the whole point of this platform is to share knowledge. So the information which I'm going to share today, it's all available in public domain. It
Okay.
is not basically customized immigration advice or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you about the policy changes and overall scenario, what is proposed.
Okay.
And if anybody is looking for individual consultation, then we can put them through with the right people in our team, and they will be able to evaluate their personal profile, personal skill set, their circumstances, and provide them customized advice according to their needs and their profile.
Yes.
So let's get on it, and I'll share the slide which I put together so that our audience can get a glance of the changes. So we're going to talk today about the New Zealand skill migration category changes. So New Zealand has variety of options for the permanent residency, which is like work to residence, transport sector, healthcare sector, workforce, as well as they have a skill migration category, which is a 6 point system. as well as under the same category. Now they have two more streams which they are launching. So today's topic will be covering about those two streams and how they will impact, what are the good news, what are the opportunities which are in this new policy. And these are coming into effect in August 2026. But our audience who are keen to apply for the visas, they can plan basically ahead of time. And now let's get on with the changes of the skill migration category, which are the two major changes coming up. So guys, two new residence pathways which are introduced now, and they will come in effect in August 2026. So the number one is skilled work experience pathway, as you can see on my screen. ANZSCO skill level 1, 2, 3. So basically, these are the people, those who are skilled. So basically, just to going back into some details, Harika, ANZSCO is Australia New Zealand Standard classification of occupations, basically. So what happens with ANZSCO, like NOC codes in Canada, they are the codes which define any occupation. Like if a chef is there, what is required or expected from the chef, what qualifications are required, or if a welder is there, or if a chemical engineer or a mechanical engineer is there. So basically, these are the standards of classification of occupations where you can read through that what is expected, their job responsibilities, qualifications, and if there is a registration or licensing is required for that occupation or not. So that is called ANZSCO. And Australia and New Zealand, they share this combined system with the way of this ANZSCO. So skill levels are from 1 to 5. Why? I'm just giving this bit of introduction so that our audience can get a clear indication and clear idea what are we talking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically 1, 2, 3 are classified as skilled people. So all the professionals, they come into this category, or all the people, those who are like even chefs, they come into this category, and accountants, ICT, salespeople, business analysts, accountants, all sort of people come into 1, 2, 3, and health professionals. And then comes skill level 4 and 5, which are basically unskilled labor. So if any assistant position, sales representative, or any other lower profile, they fall into skill level 4 and 5. So here we are talking about these two policies, how they are really relevant and important to see. So the people, those who have been in New Zealand and they have been working in the skill level 1, 2, 3, and they have overall 5 years of experience, regardless of any country, wherever they are, even if they have offshore experience or if they have New Zealand experience, they can have total of 5 years of experience. And if they have 2 years of New Zealand experience at 1.1 times the median wage rate. So the current median wage rate at the moment is $33.56. So 1.1 is approximately comes to around $39 or $37. So if
Mhm.
they're earning that much per hour, and if you put that perspective into a package, we are not talking about a big amount. We are talking about maybe around $75,000 approximately. If they are earning a package of that, and average salary in New Zealand is around 65, $70,000. So the lower grade people, if we talk about the starter, beginners, assistants, cleaners, they are at maybe 50, 55,000 package right now. And if you talk about mid-skill people, they are earning around 65, 70, 75,000. And when we talk about IT or any skilled position, then they cross 90,000 and go upwards 150, 200,000. So this is not a very, very huge criteria. If somebody is minutely or medium skilled, they will be able to qualify under this policy. And the other thing was, it's a relief, I would say, for trades and technicians pathway, because at the moment, the current settings, they do not allow the people, those who don't have qualification, if they don't have bachelor's degree, it's so hard for them to qualify for the current migration. And if they don't have a New Zealand registration, like plumbers, electricians, ECE teachers, or primary or secondary school teachers, those sort of professions, if they don't have that registration, still so hard for them to qualify for the residency. And tradies, basically, if you talk about the welders, fitters, panel beaters, all those sort of like cabinet makers and stone masons, all those people, it's so hard for them at the moment to qualify. So that's why this trade and technician pathway is a big relief for them, because if they have a level 4 qualification of 120 credits, so 120 credits generally defined in New Zealand as 1 year of qualification. So if they have done a certificate or a diploma program from anywhere in the world, they will be able to qualify under this category. But there is only one criteria: they have to have overall of 4 years of experience and 18 months of New Zealand work experience at the median wage rate. So these are the criteria, these are the basic draft policy at the moment. And let's go to the next stage.
Can I just say something? So,
Yes,
again,
please.
when you were talking, I was comparing with the changes or the updates which is announced in the UK. So, in the UK, they are making it difficult for people who are considered, say, low skill, especially around the trades technician pathway that you were talking about. In fact, now most of those jobs are removed from the skill job. So it means they are not eligible for skill visa or sponsored job at all. Chefs are no more qualified here for getting a skill visa. Trade jobs, construction jobs, most of the jobs are taken out. And the UK government, of course, they have classified the job codes in the UK as high skill, medium skill, and ineligible. So already people who are in the medium skill as well, they cannot bring their dependents from now. And for people who are ineligible, they are not even eligible to qualify for skill visa. So good to see that the other countries like New Zealand, they are still kind of supporting it for people with a low skill. Maybe the demand is higher in New Zealand as compared to UK. But good to see, at least for people who are into trades and technician, they have a pathway to settle down. If UK is not the dream country, they can still think of New Zealand.
Definitely, Sarika. And because, see, New Zealand is a young country, we need people to build the country basically. And a lot of construction is going on here, a lot of development, as well as a lot of trades are in demand at the moment. And all sort of trades are in demand, which can be used in the construction and infrastructure projects. And yeah, so definitely New Zealand is welcoming trades, and it's a big relief for our clients. A lot of our clients have been in the trade space, and welders, fitters, and metal fabricators. Now they have a relief that from next year they can go towards the pathway of residency. So yeah, that's a really good news. So the other thing which is a big news, which is going to take effect in August 2026, is this slide. If you can refer to this, Sarika. At the moment, in current settings, there is a 6 point system for the permanent residency in New Zealand. And in that system, if you have a PhD, you can directly get the 6 points. And with a job offer and meeting character and health and English criteria, you are able to, or you are able to apply for permanent residency. And in the new policy, in the new setting, which is really, really lucrative. So basically, what's happening, if you look at the first point here, New Zealand master's degree now earns 6 points, which is increased from 5. It is a big, big news. Basically, what's happening here now is, early at the moment in current settings, if you have a master's degree of like overseas offshore, or if you have a master's degree in New Zealand, you are getting 5 points, and with 1 year of experience you were able to get the 6 points to apply for the permanent residency. But now in the new setting, from starting from August 2026, if you do a master's in New Zealand, you can get straight away 6 points. So basically, you need a job offer at the median wage rate, and you need to still meet the character and English requirements and good health requirements. So if you meet all these criteria, you'll be able to apply for residency. So any questions about this space, Sarika? Because that is something which is really big and a lot of attention New Zealand is getting
Yeah.
right now from the people, those who want to make
Yeah.
foreign country their home.
Yes, just one thing. So when you said, someone with a PhD degree, they get it 6 points directly. So does it matter where is the PhD done from? So say there is a student in the UK who's done a PhD, and today if he applies for a job in New Zealand, and if they happen to get a job offer, so do they qualify for a PR given that they have done a PhD from UK rather than New Zealand?
Exactly, Sarika. What happens here in New Zealand is we have a system which is called IQA, International Qualification Assessment, and most of the UK qualifications can be treated as exempted qualifications from assessment. So, what does that mean? If they've done a PhD from a university in UK, they can go to the public domain available information on the NZK website or Immigration New Zealand website, where they can see if the university and their qualification is exempted from the assessment. If that is the case, then they can straight away start applying for the jobs. As soon as they get the job, they have to get their police clearance done from the country of citizenship, as well as wherever they have lived for 5 or more years in any country. They need to get the police clearance certificates. They need to meet the English requirement, which is generally 6.5 bands overall, no band less than 6. But if they have done a PhD from a UK university, they can get waiver for that requirement as well. So basically, they don't have to get any assessments of qualification if their qualification is exempted. They don't have to appear for any English exams if they have studied in UK. So straight away they can qualify with a job offer and a PCC and a medical to apply for the residency in New Zealand. You are absolutely correct.
Okay, great. Thank you for confirming. So, any student who is watching this video who is in the UK, I know many students who are kind of disturbed because of the new recent immigration changes, which is announced, irrespective of whether you're doing a master's or PhD. You can think of New Zealand as your alternative country if you want to get in touch and discuss. I'll provide the link of Victor and his team. You guys can go and discuss your profile with him. Thank you, Victor. Over to you.
Thank you. And now then, I'll give you a scenario. I think that will be very helpful for our audience to make sense out of it. So if a student comes in maybe February or March session of New Zealand Masters, which is around 1.5 year or 1 year masters, which we offer here, and we have like 2 years masters as well. So whichever applicant wants to choose as per the specialization, as per the education provider, we have different types of masters. So if they come here and start their masters next year, beginning of next year, anytime, and as soon as they finish their masters, the new policy will be implemented by that time, and they need to find a job offer, and the job offer has to be at the median wage rate. Current median wage rate is $33.56, but in the future it can change. Every February, median wage rates get adjustment and they go slightly up. So when they come here, study here, and as soon as they finish their study, basically it's a lucrative option for them. After graduation, they just need a job offer and meet the criteria of health and character. That's it, and they can apply for residency in the new policy, in the new setting. So that is something which is very promising. No other country is offering similar to this policy, that you just come here, study, and be eligible for the residency. So
Yeah.
that is a big news, Sarika, and it can
Yeah.
be a relief for all those people, those who are struggling in UK or any other country. If they're challenged by not meeting the threshold of points in any other country like Australia or Canada, then this can be an opportunity for them.
Yeah. True. Good.
The next big change, which is there, is the New Zealand bachelor's degree. This is a really big relief for people, those who are young and they have just finished their class 12th and they are looking for a country which can give them quality education, which can give them post-study work visas, and which can give them a pathway to residency. Then, guys, New Zealand can be a lucrative option for you, because in this current setting of the skill migration category, at the moment, bachelor's degree attracts 3 points, but in the new setting, it will attract 5 points, which is a really good thing. It's a clear indication that the New Zealand government and immigration authorities are encouraging students, international students, to come to New Zealand and make this country their home. And Sarika, the idea is pretty clear. From my experience, what I noticed, what these countries are looking for, basically, they are looking for proven talent. If somebody comes to the country, take up a program, they have demonstrated their English skills. If they have lived in the country, they have demonstrated that they are of good character because they are providing police clearance and they're spending some time in the country. And if they keep the character clear, as soon as they get a job offer, then immigration is interested in giving them residency and keeping and holding them in the country, because we have a big problem of brain drain. A lot of people from New Zealand, they move around and they go to Australia after getting their citizenship. So that's the reason, whole point which I can see here. New Zealand is trying their best to encourage and expand their international student market, and which will be a feeder for their talented and skill migration category policies. So, recognition of qualification and pathways, I have already explained. So, NZQA is the authority here in New Zealand which can assess the qualifications from offshore. If, as you said, somebody has done PhD from UK,
Yeah.
or if somebody has studied masters or any other qualification like bachelor's degree or a PG diploma from offshore as well, overseas as well, we can get their qualifications assessed, and they can climb the ladder of skill migration category in New Zealand. So
Good.
basically, this was the changes, and this is just a chart. And anybody who wants this presentation, they can give their details and their email address, and our team will be able to share that with them so that they can have at a glance, they can see how this policy can be implementing them or affecting them, basically.
Yeah.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Sarika. So this is the
Yeah.
revised point system I put together. So
Yeah.
basically, it shows how a master or doctor's degree or a New Zealand master's can straight away give 6 points in the upcoming policy, in the current policy, and how the qualifications of master's degree from overseas and New Zealand bachelor's degree or honors postgraduate diploma or certificate can also give them 5 points. So basically, the target is 6 point system. How applicants can achieve those 6 points. This is shown here in this slide. So that's something which people can have a look. All right, so this is also very, very important wage assessment changes which going to take place, and this is basically affecting the people, those who are in the country, as well as people those who are planning to come in the country and follow the steps to become eligible for the residency. So at the moment, Sarika, we have a requirement because see, wage rates are ever changing every year, every time they keep changing and adjust with the inflation and with the requirements, because things are getting expensive. That's why countries change wage rates. So in New Zealand, wage rate is a really important factor when apply for residency, and I think in UK and other countries
Correct.
also it is an important factor
That's why I'm
because countries want
smiling,
to.
when I'm reading your slide, I'm smiling because the changes which is announced in the UK is completely different. And I can see
Yeah.
how favorable New Zealand is as compared to UK. So yes, carry on. I'll ask my question at the end.
Yes, Erica. So basically, what was happening here in New Zealand? So at the moment, current settings are if an employee joins employer, like joins employment at median wage rate, which was earlier 29.66, and then it was changed to $31.61, and currently it is $33.56. So basically, the current settings are if an employee is joining employment at 29.66, then they need to, like if they're applying for residency now, they need to have the current median wage rate. It means, regardless of meeting the policy of 2966 at the time of starting of their employment, their experience can be counted, no problem at all for the migration. But the issue was if they want to apply for migration now, they have to meet the current threshold of the median wage rate, which is they have to have the job offer right now, or their current employer will be forced by the employee to pay them 33.56 to apply for the residency. So now the new policy is sensible. So basically, the new policy states that at the time of joining, if you are meeting the median wage rate, you need to just maintain, or maybe if you want to go up in the median wage rate, that's fine. And if you are applying for residency after 2 years or 3 years, so you don't have to meet that future median wage rate, basically. So that's a change. So if you are on a median wage rate right now, when you are joining the employment, you need to just maintain that and you will be qualifying for the residency.
Yeah.
Over to you, Sarika.
Oh God. So this is quite encouraging for the guys, I think, in New Zealand. However, in the UK, you got to meet the current going rate. So if you say in the UK, if you're on a skill visa with a salary of, just saying, stupid example, £32,000 for your job code, if that's the going rate, and you are eligible for skill visa, say after 5 years, and the going rate for your job is, say, £42,000, for example, you got to have that salary by then because that's the going rate at the time of applying for ILR. Otherwise, you're not eligible. However, in New Zealand, I can see they have made it now whatever is the amount when you join, they are keeping that as a constant. They're not changing it as per year, the changes which are being made. So again, it's quite encouraging to see New Zealand who are favoring people now towards their permanent residency as compared to what's happening in the UK, where it's not a favorable decisions. But again, this is not a new thing in the UK. This rule was already in place for a very long time from what I see. Yeah.
Definitely, Sarika. So these are some really, really cool and really good changes. And there's another change which is coming up and which will be, at the moment, it's on draft stage. It's not clear. So we are not in a position to give a very clear indication about this red list and amber list. So basically, as you can see on my screen, there will be some excluded occupations. So there will be some occupation which immigration is trying to put on the exclusion list. So basically, those occupations will be generally which are oversupplied at the moment. And amber list will have qualifications which will have extra criteria, eligibility criterias, which they have to meet. So at the moment, there is no point going through this more because at the moment, this is not clear which list will be there. So even if that occupation is listed in this, doesn't matter. It's not a panic state because the other pathway of migrations are still open for those people. We can look into that option if we know what their eligibility criteria are.
Yeah, in New Zealand, we
All
already
right. So
have
this,
something
yeah.
called as, sorry, Victor, just one question. I think in
Mhm.
New Zealand, we already have something called as green list, right, which exists today.
Yes.
So on top of
Yes.
that green list, there will be amber and red list, which will be published. And then in the future, we'll come to know which jobs are still in green list versus what is red mean versus what is amber. Yeah.
Definitely. So it is like a traffic light system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so,
Very much
Sarika,
similar to I think what UK did, like I was explaining,
yes.
higher skilled, medium skilled, and ineligible. So maybe when they say red, maybe you are ineligible to apply for those jobs. Amber would be yes with restriction, maybe not with dependent or something like that. And the green is like higher skilled or maybe, I don't know, just guessing and
Yeah,
comparing.
we'll definitely make a video as soon as these lists are out and we
Oh
have more
yes,
information so that we
yes,
can give correct information to our audience so that they can have
yeah,
that knowledge.
yeah.
And the other thing which you just mentioned and which was really relevant, Sarika, is the green list. So what is the meaning of green list? A lot of people think that green list is something which they follow and that will lead to the permanent residency or residency in the country. I would like to clarify here the green list, what is that and how that impacts. So in green list, there are occupations, just to give you some example, occupations like quantity surveying, construction management, construction project management, or engineering. If you talk about civil engineering technicians, mechanical engineering, electrical, electronics engineers, as well as early childhood teachers. So green list was designed to evaluate because a lot of students, those who are coming for undergraduate programs, they are not eligible for post-study work visa in New Zealand. But the people, those who are studying, or the students, those who are taking up programs which are listed on the green list, they will be getting post-study work visas because their programs are listed on the green list. As well as green list gives a pathway to residency. So there are options like straight to residence, work to residence. So there are roles, tier one and tier two roles. It's quite complicated. All the information, whichever we are talking about today, is all available on the public domain on the immigration website. If you're keen to study, keen to learn about it, so knowledge is free. You need to just spend a little bit of time and effort. So straight to residence, a lot of IT professionals, engineering professionals, they can fall into straight to residence category and they can meet the tier one criteria. If and in past we have done successfully a lot of cases for straight to residence where applicants have to meet some wage thresholds and they have to meet some qualification thresholds and they can straight away apply for residency within 3-4 weeks they can get the residency decisions. So that's pretty straightforward policy which New Zealand has. And work to residence is generally has a requirement of gaining 2 years of work experience. So basically ECE, like early childhood education. So that is an example where somebody who has studied the Green List program of early childhood education, they can study in New Zealand for 2 years, study and after that work in New Zealand for 2 years, and they can be eligible under the Green List programs of a pathway, which is work to residence, and apply for the residency because of being in the green list. So it's a little bit of complicated. Maybe we'll make another video where we are covering tier 1 and tier 2 examples,
Yeah.
how students can do quantity surveying or a construction management program, and then that can lead to the uh, permanent residency or residency in the country.
Yeah.
So just going into more details about this trades and technician, because that's a really lucrative option and lucrative news. And as we have discussed earlier, Sarika, other countries are discouraging lower profile, lower skilled people, but New Zealand is recognizing that these people, those who have hands-on skills, they work in the trade sector, how they are important. So if you look at this trade and technician pathway, what happens with them basically is if they hold a level 4 qualification, we have covered it's a diploma or a certificate from anywhere, any part of the world. If they've done ITI or something, they need to meet the requirement of getting an IQA, which is International Qualification Assessment. If they get a successful assessment, then and if they meet the experience requirements, then they will be eligible for residency pathway, which is available to them. And this is a lot of, it's a very common question that how to apply for a residency or what are the other things where they have to meet. So guys, if you are sitting abroad, if you're listening to us, you're watching us, first of all, thank you very much for watching Your Knowledge Buddy. And it's important for you to know that these countries are looking for assets. They're not looking for liabilities. So they are looking for assets, and these are the things which evaluate or which demonstrate that the applicant is an asset to the country. So the number one is job or job offer. So basically that means you are self-sufficient when you come to the country. You're not depending on the social services. You're not depending on the government for your welfare and your family's welfare, and you'll be able to maintain yourself. And the second thing is character. So it means they are not looking for criminals. They are looking for people, those who have clear, proven, a good character record. It means clear police certificate, police clearance. And police clearance has to be issued by the passport office. No other police clearances are acceptable now. And the health criteria, basically, they are looking for if you have any communicable diseases, and tuberculosis is a big problem in medicals. So if anybody had a history of tuberculosis, or maybe they are weak, they have less hemoglobin or those sort of things, or health issues, or any functioning body part is not functioning up to the level. So the government wants to know that, and they want to evaluate if you will be a burden on their health system. And the English language requirement, which is generally 6.5 bands overall, no band less than 6, or even 6.5 overall can do the magic. Basically, what they want to figure out is how well you would be incorporating in the society. Can you lead your day-to-day life with the basic English skills? So these are the criteria which are mandatory, even if it doesn't matter what profession you choose, but these four things you have to meet in any scenario to be able to prove that you can be a good part or good member of the society. Any questions, Aika?
I do, but I have around maybe two to begin with, and let's see how you answer that. Victor, first question. I have certain people, so I have split audience. So those audience who lack work experience, who move to the UK to study. Say they spent in Indian rupees, say 15 to 25 lakhs. They moved here. They thought they will get a job. They will work during their post-study work permit. And then, of course, they want to move to skilled visa so that then they can get an ILR. But with the massive changes which is happening in the UK regarding the immigration, the salary threshold increasing, and of course, the job market is not very encouraging as well. So people are struggling. And most of the people who came here or students who came here, their graduate visa is about to expire. Yeah, it's very soon. So now, if you have to say, based on whatever I saw, looks like New Zealand is a good country where they can opt for. But the good thing that which I observed from your slide was it should be through the study route rather than directly coming for a work visa. So what do you have to say to those students who had already spent 15 to 20, 25 lakhs here in the UK, who came with a dream to settle down? Now they are not able to. Why they should come and study again in New Zealand, and what will be their future if they take another chance?
First of all, Sarika, the policy is pretty clear, as I mentioned, that they need to have a job offer to apply for the residency. It is a mandatory requirement. So when we talk about the job offer, as we have already discussed in this video, if somebody has already a PhD, and PhD from UK or from any part of the world, they can find a job offer in New Zealand and apply for the residency. They do not need to come here and study again. So first of all, that is one category. The second category, and we do get a lot of inquiries from people, those who are sitting in different parts of the world, maybe Singapore or Middle East or even UK, and those people are struggling. And even from Canada, we have started getting inquiries. The people, those who are not able to meet the express entry thresholds and point thresholds, so they are contacting us. I do understand they have already spent a hefty amount on the education and for the settlement. And we have to keep one thing in mind. When they chose a country, UK or Australia or any other or Canada, they invested on their education. They have invested on their upskilling. And the similar way, if the and that's not a guarantee. If somebody is coming to study, that's not a guarantee that the country will give them the residency. So that's why this is exactly what happened to them. At that time, they showed their intentions was to come there and study, and they did that successfully. But now, if countries' policies for migration and their requirements have changed, then they have to explore. So they have only two options, Sarika. One is they can just stay there and or maybe go back to India, and otherwise they have to take some action. And if you talk about taking action, what New Zealand is offering is quite significantly interesting, because what we're offering here is with the scholarships and everything. If someone coming here, maybe I'll give you an example: husband, wife with two kids. If wife takes up a program of masters, which will take 1 year, 1.5 year, at least they are on the pathway towards the residency, towards settling in a country which is beautiful and has really good quality of lifestyle and good earning capacity. So basically, what they get for the money which they are spending on the education, if they're spending say around 35,000 dollars in education, what they're going to get out of that is they will get a principal applicant will get a student visa, and that allows them to work 25 hours a week. So basically, the money which they're spending, they are recovering that money side by side. They're not like that's not a gamble they are playing. This is an investment on their own skills. So they're gonna get that study visa plus 25 hours per week work permit as a student, international student. Plus, the husband can get a full-time open work visa. So that is another big advantage. And children can, if the children are school going, they can get free education, domestic education visas in New Zealand. So these things are really important, because what they are going to get is, if they study for 1.5 years, say for example, after that they will be eligible for 3 years of post study work visa. So overall, they are getting around 4.5 to 5 years in the country, as soon as they finish their masters, and as per the new policy which is kicking in August 2026, if they finish their masters in New Zealand and if they have a job offer, they can directly explore opportunities of settling down in the country if they love it, if they want to call it home. So what will be my message, and from my experience, vast experience, which I have been dealing with a lot of people, what I would say is, any money which you're investing on yourself, there is nothing better than that. And if you have done your last studies maybe a while ago, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago, guys, the time is changing with the speed of AI and the age of AI. Things are moving pretty fast. And to be relevant, you have to be proactive. If you even have to spend money on yourself to study, I think that would be the best investment as compared to stock market or real estate or anywhere else. So that is the future. And I would say upskill New Zealand is inviting people with open hands, open arms, trying to grasp the talent and the skills and you guys. So yeah, look no further.
Oh my God. So you are the brand ambassador of New Zealand. I see that.
Oh no, I love it. I love it.
You are in New Zealand for 20, 25 years now, Victor?
Yeah. I came
Yeah,
here in 2002, so I've seen
long
all up
time.
and down, and I've done the journey, so that's why I can confidently say it's a good journey. And being a citizen of New Zealand, I have the opportunity to go to Australia and live there for 4 years, get the New Zealand, like get the Australian citizenship. But that never ever attracted me because I just love the vibe in New Zealand. It's such a beautiful country and a great place to raise a family.
Okay, so you came back to New Zealand. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Victor. My second question you have already touched upon. I was about to say, in the UK, again, a major announcement or proposal has been made regarding indefinite leave to remain, where the qualifying period is changing or is proposed to change from 5 years. It will be 10 years, or even for some job, it will be 15 years. So experienced people who had got a job offer with sponsorship, who were on their settlement path, of 5 years may not happen. So I know those people are very disturbed, and the amount of people are impacted are around 2 million. So I know they will be looking at other alternatives. So I was thinking those experienced people, should they also look for New Zealand? And if they don't want to study, and if they start applying for the job, say from UK to New Zealand, how easy will it be? Will New Zealand employers look at the profile of people in the UK, say, who got 5+ years of experience in certain industry or niche? Do you think they will be called for interview, or they don't entertain people at all if they are not in New Zealand?
Sarika, first of all, the fact behind this question, which I can relate to, the people those who have already spent time in UK, they are already well versed with the lifestyle. They're already well versed with the employer's expectations. They already have hands-on skills of working in UK, and they have multicultural experience. They have English skills. And what I see is, if I'm an employer in New Zealand, I would love to hire such people. And while talking about it, there are other visa policies in New Zealand. And out of this, there is one policy which is called Accredited Employer Work Visa. So if there is an employer in New Zealand, if they like somebody from anywhere, and definitely they will be very much keen to have the people from UK, as I said, that those are ready, job ready people. They don't need any training. They don't need to be taught. Basically, they already in the workforce. They already have the English skills. So basically, they have direct employability in New Zealand. So if I'm an employer and if I want to hire such talent, and if they have 5 year plus experience, definitely there is a pathway. And under that pathway, what I can do is I can apply for my organization to be accredited. It means it's a small process basically to get a sign off from the government, from the immigration department, basically, that I'm looking to hire people and I'm not able to find those people in New Zealand, and I want to hire a talent from offshore. So that is a policy. And after accredited employer accreditation, basically, like after accreditation, the employer can do the second step, which is like a job check. So they can advertise if they don't find any suitably qualified person, and the application from the UK, the applicant, whosoever nationality it is, if that CV is appealing, then immigration gives them a pathway. The employer can definitely hire, and a lot of employers are right now hiring those people. Our economy is at a growth stage right now. It's picking up. It was slow in the past, but now we can see there is positivity in the market. The people are spending money. New brands are coming, like IKEA has opened up a new branch here. Costco has opened up one store. Now they're opening another store. So things are happening. A market is small, so that's why a lot of activity is there. A small activity can also give leverage. So anybody who's sitting in UK who's watching our video, I would strongly, strongly recommend them to apply for the jobs. If an employer is happy to hire you, contact our team. I'll put you through with one of our on-panel team members, those who can help you to get through the process and come here and work for the New Zealand employer. And it's definitely, Sarika. I think you have touched the right nod, and a lot of employers are looking for this sort of talent.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much for that positivity. And of course, like anybody who's watching this video, and I know people are struggling a lot in the UK. So even I encourage you guys to look at New Zealand. And like Victor said, this is the best time to start applying for the job. So go ahead and look for the right opportunity, apply for the job. Thank you very much, Victor. I cannot thank you enough and you have spent so much time explaining all the new announcement and encouraging my audience to apply in New Zealand. Thank you very much. And speak to you soon for the next video.
Thank you very much, Sarika. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.